2024 has been a great year, but let's talk about 2025 now, shall we? Here I am today to give you a preview of what 2025 could be like. We're going through 10 of the most anticipated anime that the first month of 2025 is poised to give us. I'll exclude sequels and follow-ups to already established series and lock in on just new anime. We start out in Fantasyland with the unfavorable job Appraiser is actually the strongest. Doesn't really take much to figure out the direction of this one, does it? This time we have a world where heroes are born. After all, jobs are given at birth, and someone who doesn't get the good roll of the dice of fate just has to suck it up as he's just stuck in limbo with a useless skill. Of course, our protagonist gets the short end of the stick, being left with the skill to appraise things. But hey, maybe this could just be the exact type of skill he needs to spice things up. There's just a magic spell these kinds of shows have over anime fans, it seems. Through many different permutations of the formula, the subgenre continues to captivate fans. However, this one isn't as directly a zero-to-hero story as the overall synopsis may suggest, and it has something to do with how the appraiser skill is not exactly some hidden OP skill that nobody just knew about. To know more about Ain's unorthodox path to his dreams, don't miss out on the show this January. Flower and Asura, however, isn't the type of show that gives out what it is at first glance.
お前の本当の願いを言え。私が叶えてやるよ。
The title may evoke images of either a period drama or an action piece, so imagine my surprise when I decided to check what the buzz was about and found myself staring down a comfy slice of life. Flower and Asura takes place on a remote island with a small population, where one normal girl named Hana lives. Hana just loves reading and reciting, and it's this passion that led her to join the local broadcasting club thanks to Mizuki's invitation. As she leaps into the world of broadcasting, she opens the door to many firsts, some of which further her love of reading. Comfy slice of life will always have a place for fans in seasonal charts. I mean, it's one of the best genres to put on after getting bombarded with the stresses of the world. It's nice to have a heartwarming and wholesome series once in a while instead of feeding ourselves with adrenaline, right? Also, a pretty nifty thing about this anime is how there's quite a detailed focus on broadcasting as an art form, and it's how these little details add up which gives the show a unique feel.
花は咲く、白のごとく。
Imagine chatting with your favourite anime hero, a beloved movie character, or even someone you created from scratch. That's the magic of our sponsor for today's video, Polybuzz. This AI chatbot app opens up a world where conversations aren't just text, they're stories, adventures, and moments of pure creativity. Whether you want to roleplay an epic fantasy, write a story with your favourite characters, or simply chat about your day, Polybuzz makes it easy. It's free, private, and accesses over 20 million characters to explore. One of my favourite moments was creating my own character and chatting with Gojo-sensei. He had all his charm and wit, just like in the anime, and our conversation felt like stepping right into the Jujutsu Kaisen world. It was hilarious and engaging. With easy-to-use customization tools, you can shape the experience however you like. Polybuzz also ensures a safe environment for younger users with features like Teen Mode. Go wild with your imagination, connect with fascinating personalities, and make every chat an adventure. Whether you're a dreamer, storyteller, or just curious, Polybuzz is your ticket to a creative escape. Head over to the link in the description and use my code TUBE77 to unlock Polybuzz Plus features. Coming up next is the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. Of course, it's not an anime season without an isekai. In this series, our lucky protagonist is the Red Ranger Dogo Asagaki, who falls after delivering the decisive blow to his enemies. Just when it seems like everything's finally over, he finds himself reborn in another world. This time, faced with a world of magic, this Red Ranger swears to pick up from where he left off. Heroism has no bounds after all, and a new world just means a new place for him to protect the innocent and the helpless from the forces of evil. The concept behind this show is genius from a meta sense. What better subgenre to pick up with isekai than one of the most notoriously hammy ones in tokusatsu? Makes one wonder why it hasn't been done before, but here we are with a popcorn show that's ready to rock the anime world. Over-the-top action, busty female wizard, a protagonist that's loud and proud yet sincere in his heroism. This show's got it in spades, and this looks to be one hell of a fun ride to get into this January.
異世界の兵器怖っ。
Comedies are all the rage this winter as we proceed with Meraka Kurawiwa is impervious to my charms.
可愛いもな17歳大阪生まれ息をするようにモテる女おはよう黒岩くんおはようおはようおはよう
At school, sometimes playing hard to get just works like a charm. Case in point, Mona Kawai has the world in the palm of her hands. Great looks, an amazing physical figure, a horde of admirers that can't resist fawning over her. She's got it all, except for one tiny little thing. You see, there's this one super stoic dude called Kuroiwa who just seems impervious to her charms. No matter what she tries, she just can't seem to get him to wipe that scowl off his face, much less get him to fall under her allure. Little did she know, however, that the only reason this particular guy resists her is that he's training really hard to be a monk, one who's free from the wiles of the world. Who knows when the tables will turn and it will be Mona's turn to fall for someone else instead. Misunderstandings? That's the name of the game for this series and the biggest source of its comedy. It's a rom-com setup we've seen before but has taken on a rather unique twist in terms of how it orients the outgoing female lead and the stoic male lead. Look for this one to be one of the sleeper hits of the season, especially if Mona hits it big with the anime fanbase. We wrap up the first half of our list with Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf.
僕の人生にとって最も不思議なことが更新された。
ここがあなたの言っていた日本？私今とってもワクワクしているもの。
You've been around the isekai wave of the 2010s and 2020s, but how about time for some reverse isekai? Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf as a title is pretty self-explanatory. You have your protagonist Kitase who goes on thrilling adventures with an elf friend in his dreams. However, their adventures came to an abrupt end thanks to a dragon, but upon waking up, Kitase was in for one hell of a surprise. His elf friends from his dream has someone being transported into the real world. That alone should generally tell you what to expect from this anime. It's a light-hearted foray where a traveller from the fantasy world gets acclimated to what Japan has to offer, all while having a protagonist duo who can freely go back and forth between the real world and the fantasy world. It's quirky and funny, and it's got a notable focus on food. Lots of it.
日本へようこそ、エルフさん。
Zenshu kicks off the second half of our journey. You are what you consume, says the old adage, at least. It doesn't matter who you are, even if you're a genius animator / director who's got a hit anime under her belt. You see, for how much of a genius Natsuko is, she's a shut-in who's never fallen in love. And when her next assignment turns out to be a rom-com centered around first love, she's at a complete loss. It's been a while since we've seen an anime revolving around the creation aspect. There's stuff like Izoken and Shirobako, as well as Saikano, but we haven't had one of these before. And Zenshu, looking to be a mixed bag of comedy and drama, surely something that will be putting smiles on people's faces while shedding some light on how a creator goes to work on her craft. Let's see how Mappa pulls off this original anime, one that seems out of left field for a studio that's recently made a name out of big-time battle series. Medalist is fourth on the list, and it's looking to be the next sports sensation. For a lot of people, life is short. It just passes you by so quickly, and before you know it, it's too late to catch up on your dreams. Such is the plight of medalist protagonist Tsukasa. However, he does see an opportunity to make a difference. Enter Inori, a girl who's also deemed too late to become a great figure skater. Finding himself staring into the past, Tsukasa finds it in himself to train Inori. If he can't live his dream, perhaps she can, and become the greatest medalist he dreamed to be. Medalist is one anime that speaks to a lot of us, doesn't it? An underdog story told from the lens of master and apprentice makes for one very promising sports series. People who have gotten tired of the more exaggerated sports series would also be pleased to know that this is one sports anime that's more focused on character development and relationship building while trying to get us interested in a little bit of figure skating.
唯一かいのりです。
If you thought anime's got way too flashy and bright these days, here's Ubel Blatt.
お前何者だ。なんだこのガキ。すぐそこに七英雄が来ている。
この3日
Remember when dark fantasy was quite the rage? Ubel Blatt looks to tap into that market, bringing us to the bleak world of pretense. Here we follow the story of Coinzel, quite unassuming in his world besides the mean mug, but he's said to be capable of decimating hordes of enemies with his black sword. He leaves such notoriety in his wake, but is he really the legendary hero or demon lord as said of in those legends? Perhaps the answer lies in his connection with the treacherous lances, warriors thought to have once fallen and somehow have a link to him. Revenge stories have always been popular in the past seasons, reasons, but this one looks up to the dark aspect of those a bit. Forget power fantasies. Don't let the shonen hero look at the protagonist fool you. Bleak worlds where friend and foe are indistinguishable is where it's at for some fans, and they'll find Ubel Blatt a very welcome addition to the seasonal lineup.
今日はいい月夜だ。
At number 2, we have Honey Lemon Soda.
中3の冬レモンソーダみたいだって思った刺激物
Wholesome school romances have been picking up steam these days, haven't they? I thoroughly enjoyed Blue Box for one, and I welcome this new addition to the genre. For Honey Lemon Soda, it's all about Uka, who's just finished one hell of a middle school experience. Bullying was the norm for the socially awkward girl, and it seems her hopes for a new start would get dashed after accidentally being soaked in juice by her classmate, her polar opposite Kai. To everyone's surprise, Kai offers to help her overcome her social anxiety, and this act lets Uka see a new perspective that she hasn't seen before. Will a chance accident end up with her realizing her true feelings for good? If you thought Flower and Asura weren't enough, this one will be a treat for you. Both have the same kind of end goal with different setups and vibes, but fans of the genre would likely love both of them. Now, with two comfy shows to choose from, it looks like a warm winter ahead for those who love those wholesome and cute stories of youth. Rounding out the list is the action comedy Sakamoto Days.
ここからは本気で行かせてみよう。
まだ真っ赤になるまでアクセル踏み込んで
With how many big-time Jump series have ended this year, there's that opportunity for newer series to take the helm. One such title that's been picking up steam in the past couple of years is none other than Sakamoto Days. Of course, the two sentences are just marginally related because Sakamoto Days fills a completely different niche from Battle Shonen, but that doesn't mean it's anything less entertaining. With many of these killer turning over a new leaf series have come and gone, I don't think anything at Sakamoto Days quite beat in terms of entertainment value. This is the peak of the subgenre as of now, I'd say, and a lot of anime fans seem to agree. The comedy is on point from the get-go, and the action is violent and intense enough to satiate those looking to get their blood pumping. While a great series in print translating well into anime is barely a sure thing, we've seen TMS do some great work with Dr. Stone, Rent a Girlfriend, and the resurgent scraps of 7 Deadly Sins after the animation debacle.
今のお前は家族も守れねえただのデブだよ。あんまんもありだな。
Sakamoto Days has a lot of hype behind it, but is it your most anticipated non-sequel amongst the one I featured? If not, which one is? If you still have some more time, check out the channel for more videos. We usually do seasonal previews and reviews, but there are also a lot of top moments videos. Don't forget to drop by the other channel, ViniiTube Kai, for more documentary-like videos as well. That's got to be it for this one. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.